this episode of It Came From My Side of the Laundry Room, we're going to take a look at something interesting that I found at my daughter's book fair at school. So, stick around. Hello folks, and welcome to It Came From My Side of the Laundry Room. In this episode, we're going to do something a little bit different. A lot of times I do two different segments. This time we're only going to do one. But it's because it's two items from my daughter's book fair at school that I found really interesting that they would have. But before we jump in, let me show you my t-shirt here. Look at this. These Star Wars shirts from The Mandalorian are based on old Star Wars cards. Look, it even has the number over here. This would be card number 11. Now, here's the weird thing. I have card number 1, which is The Mandalorian. Card number 2, which is IG-11. Then card number 11, this shirt. Now here's the weird thing. After doing some extensive searching today, I found they have card number 4, which is the Blacksmith Mandalorian, and card number 5, which is the Incinerator Stormtrooper that used the flamethrower on that bar. Now, I hope number 3 is Quill, and it's coming sometime soon, but this number system is really getting my OCD really acting up. So, I don't know why I felt the need to share, but I did. So anyway, let's jump right in. Okay, what I found really odd at my daughter's book fair was this. Dungeons and Dragons books. I mean, when I was a kid, these would be up there with the Satanic Bible, and they would not be at a Scholastic book fair. So, wow, times are a-changin'. And let me say something, a little bit of a rant here. Hasbro owns the rights to Dungeons and Dragons. Hasbro is a toy company. Why aren't we getting Dungeons and Dragons action figures? I mean, they have characters in these books. Some are based on novels. Some I don't know because I haven't followed any of 5th edition. But why aren't we getting toys? Anyway, that was just a quick rant. And let's dive into the books. Like I said, in this episode, we're just going to do one saving throws segment, but two different books because I'd like to take a look at these. I've just glanced at them, but I've been sharing this to look with you guys, so here we go. Okay, the first book we're going to look at is Warriors and Weapons. And I assume, kind of like back in the day, they're going to break up the specializations into different books. I know that there's another one called Magic and Mages, or something to that degree, but let's take a look at this one first. And let me point out real quick, A Young Adventurer's Guide. Pretty cool. And it has youthful characters on the front too, probably grab kids' attentions. But we have your adventure party, Barbarian, Fighter, Monk, Paladin, Ranger, and Rogue. So you have your basic classes. That's a pretty cool picture. 10-speed press. I might have to look into who that is. Might be a subsidiary of Hasbro, Wizards of the Coast. We'll see. A picture that's very reminiscent of Lord of the Rings, with the Mines of Moria. Okay, introduction. Now, keep in mind, My daughter is in 2nd grade, so this was an elementary school Scholastic book fair. So we have, this is a fantasy story. You are the main character. Who are you? What do you do? This book is a way to answer those 2 very important questions. It's a guide to the fascinating races that populate the world of Dungeons & Dragons and the combat-centered classes that define their role as adventurers. It gives you a wide range of options to choose from, along with armor, weapons, and other equipment to outfit your heroic persona. Read this book from start to finish, or open it to any spot. Get pulled in by the exciting illustrations and start brainstorming from there. The more you read, the more character ideas will spring from your imagination. Every character is unique. Even when 2 of them share the same race and class, the decisions they make will take them on an exclusive journey that is yours to tell. Okay, anyone with cats knows this type of behavior. Okay, get out of there, making it out of focus. Get. Anyway, we're back. Okay. Every character is unique, even when 2 of them share the same race and class. The decisions they make will take them on an exclusive journey that is yours to tell. Dungeons & Dragons is all about building memorable characters, and the legends of your grand deeds are about to begin. Have fun. Okay, sorry to read all that, but I think that is a tremendous way to start a book like this that's aimed at kids. I mean, it gives them a great primer to what they're about to learn. It's really cool, and I hope it gets people excited to learn how to play. Okay, so let's dive in. Here we have the races here, but let's take a look at them more in depth. Of course, we have our human. What more is there to say? It's a boring old human. Anyway, you got your dwarf. Very cool. You got your ages, your sizes. Here we have our description. Dwarven feuds. That's cool. Their attributes. But I don't see any stats. Here we have an elf. Cat's trying to attack again. Okay. If anyone remembers the video where I tried to build the He-Man Wind Raider, you know just how great having a young cat is. Anyway, here's the gnome, the half-elf, the half-orc, the halfling, a lot of halves, dragonborn. See, that's something that I think was slowly being, rolled out when I stopped playing. So they're pretty popular. The Kenku. Now this is something I would definitely play. And I really don't know much about it. Their beloved wings were stripped away. Their creative spark was snuffed out. Their voices were stolen. Wow, that kind of stinks. Can't wait to read more about them, but they look pretty cool in my eyes. They probably are more of a rogue race from what they're showing here. A Tabuki, or Tabaxi. Sorry, Tabaxi. Very, there's been feline races in D&D forever, but this is, I guess, kind of riffing on the whole Elder Scrolls kind of thing, because they have an awesome feline race. The Tiefling, which is part demon, I believe. Turtle. Dude, that's what I'm all about. This Turtle Bard is my spirit animal. This dude is awesome. Look how big they are. That's amazing. They're friendly, easy to get along with. Are you fascinated by the beauty and variety of nature? Do you love the comforts of home but still wonder what lies beyond the horizon? You might be a turtle. See, this is cool because a kid gets to read, like, a little bit about themselves within this and draw conclusions and want to make a character. Here are the character classes. Barbarian. And then an example is Wolfgar the Warhammer. I don't remember his name being that, but he's from the Icewind Dale trilogy in Forgotten Realms. Or more apropos, the Drizzt books, or Drizzt, or however you want to pronounce his name. So that's cool. We got your fighter. And then Brunnar Battlehammer, also from the Icewind Dale trilogy and the Drizzt books. Got a monk. And Wei Shu is their example. Now that is awesome. I'd be all about playing that character. The Paladin. Ooh, a Dragonborn Paladin, red clay. Very neat. The War Drum of Bahamut. Red Clay's fame makes her an aspiring figure, but she also possesses a drum given to her by the monks that can magically inspire all those who fight at her side. An ally of Red Clay within earshot when she plays the drum before battle receives a boost to their courage that makes them fearless and resistant to mind control during a fight. That's pretty cool. Got a ranger. Now, if we saw Wolfgar and Brunnar, I would hope the ranger would be Drizzt. No, it's Minsk the Mighty. I have no idea who this is. He doesn't look like a ranger to me. Apparently he has a hamster as his animal follower. That's cool. That has some great role-playing potential, but not what I was expecting. Okay, we had the rogue. Shandy Freefoot. Guess that's an original D&D character. So, yeah, why don't we have action figures? Okay, we got a flow chart here. Do you prefer life in the city or do you live outdoors in the wild? Oh, that's cool. Do you see yourself strong or quick? And it points you to what classes you'd be best suited for. That's kind of neat. Got your character background and inspirations. See, now that reminds me more of the Palladium role-playing game, to how you choose your background to get certain stat boosts and things like that. Of course, we're not seeing any stats or math in any way, shape, or form in this book. So I'm assuming they're selling this as just a storytelling game. I don't even see any talk of dice or anything. We got clothes of the adventurer, what to wear when you're adventuring, equipment, and also, like I pointed out with the cover, we have a lot of youthful looking characters that, would speak more to young people. So, well played, Wizards of the Coast. We got swords. Now, honestly, that's not a lot of choices, but that's cool. Pole arms. Other melee weapons. Flails, hammers, maces, axes, whips. That's cool. Like a snow leopard dude. Special weapons. Oh, skip the page here. Ranged weapons. Bows, crossbows, darts, slings, throwing weapons. Special weapons, boomerang, chain, net, pick, push dagger, scythe, sickle, trident. Crazy combinations, a dagger and rope, chain and hammer, crossbow and axe. Spear and scythe, sword and staff. Armor and the foundation of a hero's defense. Padded armor, light armor, studded armor. That's a cool picture. These look like dragon centaur looking things. That's cool. Got medium armors, heavy armors, shields. Oh, look, rust monster. Cool. Any more creatures in here? Nope. Okay, in your pack, items for travel and exploration. Got your basic necessities here. Adventuring gear. Tools. Hey look, dice. Gaming set. Includes dice, playing cards, and other game pieces that you can use to make friends or enemies in a local tavern. Huh. Got a burglar's pack, dungeoneer's pack, explorer's pack, vampire hunter's pack. Dude, that's cool. So he's getting ready to mess all these dudes up. Using heroes to tell your own stories. Who are your characters? Where does your story take place? When does your story happen? How do things change as the story proceeds? What should someone feel as they experience your story? Why are your heroes going on this adventure? Sorry, I'm just reading this because it shows dice, but there's no mention of dice in this at all. And there's no stats or anything. Okay, here we go. We got some more books here. Monsters and Creatures, Wizards and Spells, Dungeons and Tombs. That's cool. So that was Warriors and Weapons. Okay, we just looked at Warriors and Weapons. Before we dive into the next book, let's take a commercial break.
Your dungeon master has placed you in a dreadfully precarious position. You're playing the most phenomenal game ever created. Your skin grows cold from your first glimpse of the enormous beast. It's a product of your imagination. Survival depends on a quick, decisive move. Your choices are limited. Stand and fight, or run. Use your lightning bolt. Victory is yours.
Win the treasure.
TSR Hobbies, Dungeons and Dragons games. Products of your imagination.
Welcome back. Now we're going to dive into Monsters and Creatures. Here we are, Monsters and Creatures. We got an iconic red dragon on the cover, beautiful artwork, and again, a young adventurer's guide. So let's take a look. We got famous fantasy creatures here. In the other book, it had the player classes, but now we have famous fantasy creatures. Let's skip this and dive right in to see what's in the book, though. Ooh, look at that owlbear. Awesome. I love owlbears. They're one of my favorite creatures in D&D. Looks like a halfling ranger. Getting ready to fight it. That's cool. Contents. Introduction. I'm going to skip reading this because, I thought that the introduction in the last book was pretty inspiring. But this is just to say, hey, fight some monsters. Okay, caverns and dark places. Oh, okay. That's kind of cool. It's like a DK book approach to explaining the monsters. It points out what each one of the beholder's eye stalks do. We got death, petrification, sleep, disintegration, telekinesis, intervention. Slowness, fear, paralyzation, charm, anti-magic cone from their eye blast. That's pretty cool. Got the size comparison here to a human. And you got your little write-up, lair, do this, don't do this.
Do this. Fight magic with magic. Distract the beholder as much as you can. Get in close. Don't do this. Don't ignore the feeling that you're being watched. Don't stay put for too long. Got your bugbear. Very cool. Got your size. Got its special powers. Sorry, pages are kind of sticking there. Got your carrion crawler. Nice size comparison. A flumph. That is actually, I think I may have put that in my WTF D&D episodes. If not, it should have been there because that's a creature that's been around for many years. And yeah, a new art style doesn't make it any less goofy. Goblin. Not a fan of the new goblin design, have to be honest. Mind Flayer. Back in the day, these were a very rare thing, but it seems like with the more recent D&Ds, they really pumped the Mind Flayer up as being the ultimate of evil, which it should be, but I mean, it's everywhere nowadays. The Myconid, or like a mushroom person. Creepy picture. They always were portrayed kind of cute, but taking it in a different direction and just being downright creepy. Talking about a colony of them. Oh, Demogorgon. Of course. Kind of capitalize on that Stranger Things magic. They never used to look like that. They've made them like a very big, menacing foe. Here's a cool size comparison. Ever since Stranger Things, Demogorgons have been everywhere in D&D. Forest mountains and other terrain. Centaurs. Displacer beasts. Now, they were always a cavern creature when I was growing up. Now I guess they're just throwing them out into the wild. Forest and mountain areas. Kind of don't like it. I kind of like the original design of it, but that's very cool nonetheless. I guess they needed to just make it a little bit different than just a normal panther. Sorry. There we go. My owlbear. A little bit smaller than I would have liked, but cool nonetheless. Sprites. Treant, making them much more humanoid looking with the face and all. Guess they're trying to separate them a little bit more than the Tolkien ones. And look at this, I like this third arm coming off here. That's neat. That's a nice touch. Different sizes of them. That's cool. Unicorn. A little bit more about the unicorn. Giants. That's a cool picture. Hill giant. Stone giant. Frost giant. A little bit more on the frost giant. Fire giant. Duke Zalto, a legendary giant. That's kind of neat. To have your named bosses, if you will. I guess that's kind of give it a video game feel. Get kids more acclimated to it. Cloud giant. That's a cool picture. Oh, sorry. Storm giants. Very cool. Now, moors, bogs, and boneyards. Banshee. Skeleton. It's a cool picture. More on the skeleton. Vampires. Vampire Lord. Did I skip like the normal vampire? No, it doesn't look like it. It goes from skeleton to vampire. Vampire Lord. Vampire Spawn. Count Strahd. Now, that's straight from Ravenloft. Now, they talk about Ravenloft Castle, but they don't make it that Ravenloft is its own dimension. That's kind of sad. But still cool that he gets some props. But if we're going to do that, then the Death Knight Soth should be in here. Okay, oceans, lakes, and waterways. An aboleth. That's a freaky picture of one. That's nice. I like that. Dragon turtle, always a favorite. A marrow, which is like an evil merman kind of thing. Oh, here we go. Mountain peaks and open sky. Don't they get a named villain for the water folk? Man, just like Aquaman, they're always pushing the water people down. Okay, mountain peaks and open sky. Griffins. It's a nice picture. Pegasus. Right to dragon. What the? White dragons. Green dragon. Right up on a green dragon. Black dragon. That's a cool picture. Blue dragons. Red dragon, of course. And then Tiamat, the queen of evil dragons. Hey, anybody that knows the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon from the 80s knows about Tiamat. They could have thrown Venger in here as a villain, now that I think about it. Anyway, not get bogged down on that. Okay, using monsters to tell your own stories. And there's that ranger dude with his hamster that we saw in the other book. I don't know who this dude is, but they like him enough that he gets his own little picture here and a write-up. Green dragon claw, and that's it. Now, it feels like it's really missing a lot, but maybe they'll put out another book. But these are just a neat novelty, and I'm glad I picked them up, and I'm glad that once they count the numbers to the book fair, at least they sold a couple that show that it is somewhat popular. And these are great to get my kids into it. I mean, they don't seem real interested at the moment, but hopefully one day, because I have a plan to make my own in-house gaming group with my kids. And I'll be the evil game master, and I'll total party kill them whenever I get a chance. Oh, you didn't clean your room? Critical fail. Ha ha ha. Anyway.
I hope you all enjoyed that and it wasn't too boring. And thank you for indulging me and sticking through the end, if you got that far. Now, like I said, it's really weird. I mean, when I was a kid, D&D was the harbinger of all evil that is in the known world. And now it's being sold to kids as a youth-friendly book. I mean, granted, these books don't have any stats or anything in them. No real religious subtext or deities or the occult. It's just good old-fashioned fantasy, and it's just great to get kids knowledgeable of how awesome Dungeons and Dragons is. I think all in all, there's about 4 or 5 different books in this series so far. You have one that's like Dungeons and Catacombs, a Beasts and Behemoths book, and I think they have a Mages and Magic book. So I hope in the future we get a lot more, and until I get around to spending that money to get 5th edition, these make me happy. I mean, I'm not going to spend the money on 5th edition because I really don't have anyone to play with. So these books are good for me to just get acclimated to some of the really cool features, races, and classes that are now being offered in the system. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that episode. If you did, please leave a thumbs up. If you got something to say, please leave a comment. I love reading them and I love getting back to everybody. And if you're new around here and you enjoyed this or any of the episodes that YouTube is recommending down here, hit subscribe. And if you hit that little bell icon, you will be notified whenever there's a new episode. So, until next time, keep being rad and stay dorky.